The T app describes itself to be quote-unquote the most safest place for women to spill tea because it allows for women to conduct background and criminal record checks on men, do reverse image searches to identify potential catfishes, and communicate anonymously among one another about their experience with similar men. While this sounds good in theory, it was bound for failure. Before we talk about the downfall of the app, we first gotta talk about the history of it first. So the T app was first released in 2023 by its founder, Sean Cook, who made it due to his mother's struggling dating experiences. It was a woman-only app intended for women to anonymously share red flags or green flags about men, and it had background checks and reverse image search features. It branded itself as a Yelp for men and a safe place for women. However, to make sure that no men infiltrated the app, it had a verification system where you gotta take a selfie of yourself and send your ID to prove you're a woman, which is totally not a bad decision that would later haunt its users in the future. It exploded in popularity later in mid-July 2025 when it literally became the #1 free app on the App Store, with reported downloads reaching 525% and the number of total user base hitting 4 million users. However, it slowly started to become more and more of a gossip app rather than an actual safe place for women like it painted itself to be. The app also became more profit-driven rather than actually helping women because they also added these paywalls on everything. Want to do a background check? Pay up. Want to do a criminal history check? Pay up. Want to use the search bar more than 5 times a month? Pay up. Another thing that made the app take one step closer towards its own grave is that there wasn't any way to verify the claims that the women make on men, and there was no way to hold those women accountable because they were anonymous. You could have literally gone in the app, take a photo of a man even if you don't know him, make a fake story about a bad experience with him, and all of a sudden that man would have zero idea why most women avoid him. Like, that's literally how easy it is to do that. Some men did take action by making responses addressing their side of the story and defending themselves, which caused the whole gender war because some of the women also made their counter responses, so responses were coming back and forth non-stop until the infamous data breach in July 25. So 4chan, arguably one of the most controversial groups on the internet, exposed over 72,000 images, which includes 13,000 selfies/IDs and 59,000 user-posted photos. Sean Cook, the founder of T, tried to defend himself by basically saying, "Oh, the data that was affected was from pre-February 2024, so only a small portion of you got doxxed." Like, dude, that doesn't make things better. People still got doxxed. The leaked photos though got mocked and weaponized online, and there's even a site called Peacepill, and it basically allows you to choose which quote-unquote void that you prefer, and they even got a leaderboard for who got the most wins and losses. Oh, but it doesn't end here because the second plane hits the second tower and there's another data breach. Like, how do you let that happen twice in a row in just 3 days, bro? This wasn't just any small leak like the last data breach because an estimated 1.1 million private messages all the way from February 2023 to July 2025 got exposed, and it contained some pretty sensitive discussions about infidelity, abortion, mental issues, real identities, phone numbers, and even house addresses. All this basically made T temporarily suspend its DM features, but the final nail in the coffin came from the lawsuits that are currently happening right now. Literally just yesterday, there's a total of 10 class action lawsuits filed against T over the breaches. I won't get too detailed into the lawsuits because I don't know much about being a lawyer, but what I do know is that this app was bound for failure from the start. Like, it was literally a breeding ground for femcells to come in and literally ruin innocent men's lives by spreading false information about them and facing zero accountability for it by being anonymous. There was just no chance on earth that wouldn't be bound for failure anytime soon. Can you imagine if we reversed the genders here though? Let's say T was a men-only dating advice app and it was a Yelp for women. Same description as before, it's just reverse genders. It would literally be cancelled all over Twitter and everyone would be calling it misogynistic, r/incels 2.0, predatory, degenerate, stuff like that. Anyways, that's the end of this video. If you guys like it, then make sure to comment and leave a like. It really helps out the channel. If this drama continues anytime soon, I'll make an update video. But as for now, see ya.